Today again, we're going to speak about marriage, how to prepare to step into that very powerful decision that might affect your life negatively or positively. We will take information and we will take wisdom from the book written by Archbishop Gilbert Deya, Preparation into Marriage. Today then, we will start where we left some time ago. What we were talking about how to keep the flame burning in your marriage. Because most of the time, when you stay too long with your husband, you stay too long with your wife, you get used to each other, and you begin to take each other for granted. And it kills everything. It kills the affection between you two. It kills the marriage. It kills the togetherness. So as you know, little thing that you may do in your relationship will prevent such kind of situation to arise between you and your wife or between you and your husband. The man of God said in this book on page 34, it is a sensitive stage that the person becomes independent in whatever he or she wants to do. That is when the person thinks of herself or himself, whether she or he is fit to someone, and the feeling also forces the sense to act into loving somebody. Majority end up in love, but in their mind, there's no security. Because you will meet a complete stranger, either a woman or a man. And you do not know their reaction. You do not know how things will develop, how things will unfold. And that brings sometimes worry in the heart of many people who are intending to get married. So they are looking for what they call Mr. Right, Mrs. Right. The question the man of God asks in his book, page 37, is say, what then will you do to get Mr. Right or Miss Right to marry? The second question, how are you supposed to behave to get Mr. or Miss Right? The third question, what can you do for Mr. or Miss Right to accept you as the one to be a husband and wife? The man of God went further and said, to answer the above three questions, someone must be so conscious into the matter of getting your life partner. This is a life of togetherness, living with someone until death do you part. So, if you are to live with somebody, imagine you are getting married at the age of 24. And maybe your lifespan will be up till 100, 120, as said by God in the Bible. Will you then not think it is important and essential to investigate and to be careful about taking that important decision in your life? Because if you are hooked to an evil person or somebody that do not love you, your life will be miserable. Instead of being a place of fulfillment, the marriage will feel like a prison. This is a life of togetherness, living with somebody until death do you part. Whosoever comes into your life drives in the road of your destiny that can be happiness and joy of your life, of your lifespan, or it could be a wounded, cancerous hole in the heart that cannot be diagnosed by the medical doctor. You are dying inside. At home, there's no happiness. At home, there's nothing you are looking for. When you finish work, You feel like you don't want to go home. I told you in my previous program, sometime when I was off, I will be the most unhappy person because I and my wife were not getting along. I still remember that day. I finished work, and that day, instead of being happy to go and stay with my family, I was angry and bitter with myself, saying to myself, I go home now, there's no joy, there's no peace, it's only argument. And sometimes I used to ask my manager to give me overtime just to stay away from home, just to stay away from my wife, because I know that as soon as I get there, it's going to be only depression, only argument, only challenges. Who would like to live in such a home? Don't you think then it is important to take the careful step before you take that faithful decision? Because the hole in your heart, as the man of God said in the Bible, in the book, that hole in your heart that cannot be diagnosed by the medical doctor. It's a hole, it's a wound that only you can feel the pain. You don't know how to explain it. You don't know how to tell people. People are seeing you wasting away. They don't know what is wrong with you. Outwardly, you look, everything goes well for you. You drive a nice car. You have a nice job. You have a nice home. I mean, the house is very nice. But inside, you know that when nobody's looking, behind closet, things are not the way it seemed to be. Rather, that situation become like a mental disorder, a wound in the mind. So what matters in the adulthood of your independent decision is who comes in your life as a husband or wife. You too, you have to understand one thing. You are not 100% gold stone. Your behavior and character should also be put into consideration, that you could be a jumping kangaroo of Australia, like the man of God say in the book, the author of this book, into your marriage. Then you end up blaming an unseen ghost with nightmare of loneliness in bed, and that have a good answer known as depression. So many people will go into marriage because of the physical appearance. People will be hooked into marriage because he saw a boy driving a nice car. He will go into marriage because the man is dressing very well and he's wearing nice perfume. These are very shallow reasons for you to hook your life with someone for the rest of your life. You need to know the person you want to be involved with. Most of the time, when you ask God to give you a husband or a wife, it's not going to be the package, the form of the package you are waiting for. It may be the package will look very casual, very ordinary. You look at the man, it doesn't really attract you. You look at the woman, she doesn't really attract you. But God knows ahead of you. He knows the quality he had deposited inside of that man or that woman. And he knows as you will move into your future, challenges will come along your way. And those challenges will be a distress for you if there's no one there to give you a helping hand. Now, in this man or in this woman that you are turning your back on is the person God has provided for you to be saved from those challenges. But because you lack discernment, you lack understanding, you are looking for flashy things. You are looking for those boys who are riding nice car. You're looking for those women whose nails are long like tiger. They look like some movie star. And that is what you think is good for you. All that shine, all that glitter is no gold. It is until you get into that marriage, then you will know what it calls pain. I remember one book I read. Actually, they did not get married, but they were involved as girlfriend and boyfriend. That man was a Nigerian man. He married, he lost all his parents. The book, I think, is online. I don't know what I recall the story properly. What happened is he used to go to school with one of the girl in the village. And after some time, the girl moved to the city, and the parent of the boy, all of the parents died, and suddenly the girl come back. Just to cut a long story short, the girl come back and collect the boy. He say, let's go to the city. We will make it. And when they reached there, little did he know the girl was involved in the occult. He said that sometime in the night, the body of the woman will be transparent, will begin to shine. He did not understand. And one day, when the girl went out, in the early days in that house, he opened the fridge and saw human meat, human blood, and the girl knew what happened behind. The person you see with a flashy car, I'm not saying that God does not bless people. I just want you to investigate the person you want to be involved with, because it is your life. That marriage, if you're not careful, can lead you to hell. Because when you're depressed all the time, you are bitter. And God is no friend of bitterness. So when then God give you Mr. Right or Miss Right, you have to know that you yourself, because of the Adamic sin, you are not perfect. There are downside of your character that can be a stumbling block for you to enjoy happiness in your marriage. So you have to learn then how to compromise, how to overlook certain thing, how to overlook certain attitude of your husband or your wife for the benefit of the marriage. Because the main goal here is for you to enjoy happiness, knowing that you yourself have downside, you yourself have shortcoming. Instead of experiencing Mr. Depression because of the behavior, some behavior of your husband or your wife, you may as well overlook certain thing and knows that God is in control. The man of God continue. Truly, these are the contracted form, your own life. Those are truly, these are some of the things you contracted from your own lifestyle. Your own lifestyle, maybe from your family. Your family, maybe they were wealthy. They used to give you everything. Now you go to your husband, you go to your matrimonial home, you expect your husband to take you to Newborn Street every week, which your father used to do. And your husband is not doing so, and you become frustrated. This is no longer your father, but your husband. Your own behavior attracts whom to love you or make everybody to hurt you. Your own behavior, I say your own attitude, attracts whom to love you or make everybody to hurt you. That make it difficult to have you as a husband or wife. What family are you coming from? Maybe your mother, they were very wealthy. They used to give you everything. And now suddenly you're going to another family. Maybe you fall in love with somebody that is coming from the slums. He does not know how to take a woman to dinner. He does not know how to kiss a woman when he's coming back from work. Maybe your father used to do that all the time. Coming back from work, he will hug you and say, my darling, calling you all kind of sweet name. Now you are married. Your husband is not doing those things. You have to be then patient to understand that this person is coming from another background. And I cannot force my lifestyle upon her or upon him. I hope you understand. So, I need to exercise patient, and I need to be diplomatic to put my case forward. To tell your husband, darling, do you think it is good I will be the one to pay? Do you think that sometimes you are working too hard? When you come here, you look depressed, you look unhappy, you are doing too much for us. Why can't we take one weekend, we go to restaurant in central London, we go to restaurant to the city and to relax. My sister will come and look after the children when we are not here. Maybe because he's not used to that lifestyle, he will hesitate a bit. But because he loves you and the way you put your case forward, he's likely to say, okay, I will think about it. And by the time you know it, when he goes back to work the next day, maybe it's a Friday, and he come back to work and he sees some couple hand in hand, and begin to see, oh, I can also do this. And by the way, my wife told me that we can go to the city and have a dinner. So let me go home. And I saw a nice shop there where they are selling nice skirts. Let me go and buy it. And that's how it works. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and patience in your relationship. It's not a place of war. It's not a war zone. You need to know how to appreciate each other. You need to know that the person you are living with, it can be the woman, it can be the man, is a special person for you. And I know what I'm talking about. When I say it's a special person, maybe physically, some people might see your wife ugly, but to you, she's a princess. Maybe outside, they can see your husband as a gorilla, but to you, he's a prince. Why? Because that man, that woman, all the time is there in the time of crisis. All the time is there to comfort you. All the time is there to share your moment of joy. Who wouldn't like such kind of place where you feel like you can relate easily to somebody? Preparation into marriage. It doesn't really come all the time in the form of the package you wish it to have. When God blesses you, He's not going to call you and say, this is a lump sum of money here. He can do that. I don't know. It depends on the situation. But sometimes, God will use common thing to bless you. He will present to you a man that looked nobody. Bishop Dare, the visionary, used to clean latrine with the hand. He was so poor, he couldn't feed his family. According to the standard of a carnal mind, according to the standard of human being in the world, that man stood no chance to make it in life. But it is God that bless. When God gives you a husband and you walk faithfully with that husband or that wife, surely Jehovah will bless you. I experienced the same thing. My wife and I, we had it rough. Up till today, it's still rough, but it's no longer like before. It's no longer like when we started. They used to say, she does not deserve you. You shouldn't be with somebody like this. Come on. And looking at it, I say no. Because before I decided to be with my wife, I saw some character that linked to somebody that loves the family. When your family are there at home, she can look after them, entertain them. My father, I'm not going to say that my father was a very good man. My father was a gentleman, and I'm so happy with my father. My father never went to witch doctor. He never believed in that. He was a Catholic, but he was a devout Catholic, only praying. And I caught him once. He was praying. He was praying like the born again. And I don't know what the Lord allowed me to see it. One day he was praying in his bedroom. Because when I used to spend holiday back home when he was still alive, I went there and then I opened his door. And he was already there praying. Are you there? So, my wife, it was not easy. Only my father was happy with her because my father saw in her that this is somebody that will look properly after my son. Though that now they are saying negative thing, but she is somebody that will look after my son. Many of my sister, my cousin, when you talk about my wife negatively, they will come hard on you, very hard. They will tell you things. Why? Because that was God's provision for me in the marriage. She might not look the way you want her to look, but the real beauty comes from the inside. You can have the most beautiful woman, outwardly, physical appearance, but inside, she's nobody. This is somebody. Do you want to have a husband or a wife that is lazy? When you go to work, she doesn't do the household work. And as the case may be, the husband, when as a woman you do your best and he's not supporting you, you wouldn't be happy. Today, people of God, viewers, church, ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to come here and share this message with you, including my testimony, to give hope to somebody that may be in the same situation. May God bless you. My name is Pastor Patrick. Amen.
A sacrifice, atonement, your blood you have shed, your obedience being sacrificed. As the Son of Man, you are God. You are God in the flesh.
A sacrifice, atonement, your blood you have shed, your